Welcome back, everyone, to Go Again Gaming, and welcome back to the League That Means Nothing 3, round 2. And we have a game between Ira, Scarlet Revenger, piloted by Ireland's own Jamie McCabe, one of my favourite opponents, one that I see regularly, and one that we always seem to get matched into, no matter where we go abroad, on a Super Armory. And he is taking on Raphael Fabrice on Vynsett Iron Maiden, who has gotten some new tools from Rosetta. I say all of this with the full knowledge that Ira, full on, new, old hero, first time in CC. We're in the 1-0 bracket. Let's see how this shakes out, and we'll kick it over to the gameplay.
Nothing is brought to you in part by the Sigillit Games. Go and check them out on Etsy. This is one of the altars that you can come to expect from the Sigillit Games. Shiny foil treatment to the back of Flesh and Blood cards to really spice up your battlefield. Make sure you go and check them out when you can and use the code GAG4ALTS to get 10% off your order. Cheers, Toby. Let's get back to the tournament.
Okay, so it looks like we have Jamie going first. Ira, very strong mid-rangey strategy, wanting to threaten mask, make sure to set up defense reactions, and send those Kodachis. Pitching a red for a Kodachi, so it looks like we might be trying to filter the hand a little bit without using too much. I gotta imagine Jamie has another defense reaction here, and Raphael just taking the one. Obviously, very happy for Jamie to be going, pitching another defense reaction and just attacking with a Mauling Chief for 5. Looking to just clear some cards. No blues in the hand, I would imagine. Raphael probably looking to hang on to 1 or 2 cards here. So it looks like blocking 4. And then going to play a Funeral Moon to generate a Rune Chant token, because if a hero lost life this turn, you may play it as an instant. Generally speaking, Vynsett wants to set up their first Rune Chant on turn 1 and doesn't do a whole lot with it. But with that first Rune Chant already available, there may be something else coming from Raphael. Jamie on pretty standard equipment. The Pouncing Paws probably just to allow for 1 or 2 extra bits of combo with some of the Tiger combo cards. Raphael banished a Widespread Annihilation. That's a runegate 4. Plays a Malefic Incantation. So getting the extra 2 rune chants might be a little bit tricky here. And yeah, just going to Arsenal, taking a point from Blood Debt. And not really interacting with Jamie too much, which is kind of what you would expect from a Vynsett going second, or even on their first turn in general, because it's all about setting up that rhythm. Jamie going to lead, pitching another red. Jamie, do you have blues in your deck? Pitching another red for Bittering Thorns. So this is 4 on hit. Your next thing gets +1. And it looks like we're just going to throw the Bloodied Oval in there. Basically, Bittering Thorns, if you block 4, you're actually preventing 5 because the +1 carries on. And then pitching a Razor Reflex for Harmonized Kodachi for 1-2 go again. Taking the 2 here. And then we're going to follow that up with a Sigil of Solace, gaining 3 life. So far, we have seen exclusively reds from Jamie. I gotta imagine that's a defense reaction in Arsenal that he set there turn 1. Obviously, Vynsett not really doing a whole lot with their turn 1 defense reactions to force those turn 1 defense reactions. Now we're going to have a banish of what looks like a Deathly Wail, triggering a Rune Chant. And let's see what we have here from Raphael. We're Shadow Puppetry. And then Deathly Wail. So this is going to come in with Go Again. 3 Rune Chants. We're guaranteed to get a Rune Chant from both sides of the table here, because 1 unpreventable Rune Chant is going to deal a damage to Jamie, and Raphael has paid a life. And Deathly Whale is going to trigger Malefic, generating a rune chant. And for each hero that lost life this combat chain, when the chain is closed, Raphael will get another rune chant. So Jamie is going to prevent 2, and there is 5 coming at him now. So let's see Jamie blocking the full damage here, blocking with a Warmonger's Diplomacy and a Fine Center. Raphael closing the combat chain to get his 3 rune chants total, pitching a Shadow Puppetry, playing an Envelope in Darkness, an Envelope in Darkness as it were, generating a rune chant, giving the next runegate card +3, and then in comes Widespread Annihilation for 4, Arcane, and 9. And if a hero has lost life this turn, they banish a card from their hand. So we're going to prevent 1. I saw this card in full display when I played in the Calling in Chicago from Cody Williams, who managed to deal me a chunk of damage. So, Jamie, that's not a Sink Below, that's a Fate Foreseen. Oh, yeah, there's the Sink Below. I imagine we just opted immediately to the bottom. I missed that from the slight cutoff at the top of the screen there. But, the first bit of damage has been dealt. We have no rune chance in play, even if there's a token there. And it's going to be full tempo handed over to Raphael. It's going to think about the Vynsett trigger. Vynsett obviously demands that you banish. You don't really get a say in the matter. We're going to banish a Widespread Annihilation. Widespread Ruin, I believe. I'm going to play a Malefic Incantation. This is a great one. Getting our rune chant generators early, everything Vynsett wants to do. Pitching an Eloquent Eulogy. To play an Envelope in Darkness. And then we're going to come in for 2 and 9, threatening to banish the top card of deck. And we are paying a life, so we are going to banish the top card of both players' decks here at the conclusion of this combat chain. More importantly, Raphael is going to get 2 rune chants from these Malefic Incantations. Such a powerful new card that came out in Rosetta. And, we're having some pretty strong turns here. Can't really complain about the strength of these first couple of turns. And Jamie is going to take the 2 and block 6. So that looks to be about all that's happening here. Yeah, getting our 2 rune chants. Both players at the conclusion of the combat chain banish the top card. Looks like Raphael banished a Eloquent Eulogy. I cannot see if Jamie banished anything there. But, we're going to pitch a Warmongers as a 0-cost blue. Exactly what Ira wants. 0-cost blue 3 block means Kodachi for 1, Kodachi for 2, something else, or Kodachi for 1, and something else. So, it looks like we're blocking this first Kodachi, which is most unusual, and we're going to follow that up with an Erase Face for 7. Very surprised to see the block on the first Kodachi. Usually you want to keep that sort of thing for the second attack because of the Erase Face. So we've got 5, 6, 7. So full block here on the Erase Face. So we have a banish of a Deathly Whale. We have another Malefic Incantation, which is pretty sick. You got Runner Malefics is really where you want to be at in this kind of game. It is so powerful. It's so good. because you're just locked in on getting rune chants. You're never going to be cut off from them. So we're going to send 3 arcane and 5. If damage is dealt, more rune chants will be generated, but we're already locked in on 3 rune chants, which is exactly where we want to be at, because it enables to play pretty much anything that we would runegate. If we have a way of giving something go again, we could be able to double runegate next turn, which is where your real power turns lie. And as always, Jamie needs to be careful of that ever-present face purgatory that can really disrupt his turn. So he's taken the arcane, it looks like, and gained 3 life instead, and is just going to block 3, take 2, giving Raphael a 4th rune chant here, keeping 2 cards. And this is really the game plan that Ira likes to play, which is trade 2 cards for 2 cards. Kodachi a little bit set up a defense reaction in Arsenal, or Kodachi a little bit send something disruptive. Looks like we're going to pop Tunic and send in Torrent of Tempo. So a 1 for 5 on hit go again. Really trying to incentivize Raphael to block this one entirely. And I think this is definitely one, again, another great use of something like Erase Face. But it looks like we're going to just put 1 piece of armor here, and I imagine, yeah, a reduced rune chant, generating a 5th rune chant here, and full covering the damage on this Torrent of Tempo. Jamie moving to Arsenal and moving on with his turn. We're banishing a Widespread Annihilation, going up to our 6th rune chant. Now, if only we had Oblivion here, because we could Nazareth very easily. But we're going to attack here for 6 and 4, generating a rune chant off this Malefic, and again threatening a card from Jamie's hand. Pitching 2 reds there to prevent some arcane taking 4. And we're blocking for 2 and then another 4 with this Flick Flack. So we're going to full cover this widespread, and now Raphael has to decide whether generating an action point, if possible, is even worth it. Or if moving to Arsenal is simply the better line of play. And it looks like we're just going to move to Arsenal, take the IP, leave Jamie with a card in Arsenal, and see what happens. Yeah, Jamie just going to drop and pass. And we're going to banish a. I'm going to go out on a limb and guess Deathly Whale. I could be wrong. I have been known to be wrong. At least I thought I was. And we're going to pitch to generate a rune chant and come in. Yes, it is in fact a Deathly Whale. So we're sending in 3 and 6 here. 2 cards. We're preventing the 3 from Jamie's side with a Dishonor. Completely unplayable until Rosetta or the Hunted drops. Then we'll get access to our replacement Ghostwave. Bonds of Ancestry, and then blocking 6 here to try and prevent Jamie from generating any resources here. Or Raphael from generating any resources. Again, the punish there is something like a pummel or activating Spellbound Creepers, something like that. But we're going to just take the Blood Debt, take the IP, and pass the turn, leaving Jamie with a card and a card, I believe. So Tunic's getting ticked up. Removing the dishonor from last turn. And then we're just going to Kodachi for one, pitching a CNC. So this does not have go again, in fact, because that is how Harmonized Kodachi works. Yeah, so Raphael opting to take the 1 point of damage here. Life total's pretty close here. And we're banishing a reducer rune chant to generate our rune chant. Now let's see what we can do here. Generating another rune chant, pitching into the Grasp of the Arknight, and then attacking with Eloquent Eulogy for 2 and 4. Again, taking the intellect penalty here. So I can't imagine Raphael has a lot to do with this hand, unless he is double bluffing me. But again, we're threatening to take cards from Jamie, which is usually important. Eloquence tokens made by Eulogy can be quite powerful, less so now that there are no books legal. I suppose Tome of Torment is legal, but like if you want to play that, go right ahead. Yeah, and there we have the 4 block using a Mauling Chi and a Pouncing Paws. Again, Ira happy enough to trade 2 cards, keep 2 cards, let their opponent IP themselves, and see what happens. So really, Ira is just a value engine that sort of takes over as the game drags out. So pitching Crane Dance, going to come in Kodachi for 1. Very quick on these blocks here. Blocking with a Tear Through the Portal. Then Bittering Thorns coming in here for 5 thanks to Ira. Another full block here. And a Command and Conquer. This way we don't block super quick on those Kodachis, because you never know if it's going to matter. Yeah, Raphael kind of priced into taking 6 here, losing a Revel in Runeblood, which he's been very surprisingly sat on for a number of turns. I wonder, maybe just waiting on the right turn to deploy it. Never having, maybe never having the other non-attack action that was required. So we're going to move to Raphael's turn. Vynsett is going to demand that card from hand, so we're not going to move to Arsenal. We're just going to lose our card. And generate our rune chant and get our blood debt back online. Jamie now kind of in the driver's seat here. 4 cards. And we're going to... Ooh. Interesting choice. Normally you wouldn't do something like this. Again, Ira happy enough to take the rune chant block with the flail. But again, Ira can always filter her hand here if it matters. Yeah, pitching the Scar, for example. And then covering the Flail of Agony. Pretty easily done there for Ira. And Raphael falling to 20 here. Right. Stop me if you've heard this one before. Kodachi for 1. Yeah, Raphael taking 1. Kodachi for 2. Taken 2. And then a Censor. Censor will obviously trigger Mask, but has its own on hit as well. taking 5, letting Jamie have this draw, and Jamie able to name whatever he wants, chooses Malefic Incantation. Pretty strong here. Not a bad name, because generally speaking, you're going to play 6 of them in Vynsett, and it is one of the most powerful setup cards that a Runeblade has ever had. More importantly, now Jamie is locked on having an arsenal. So that is got card drawn straight into the arsenal. Let's see what we have to throw back. That was so worth taking the 8 points of damage. Whether Raphael needs the entire hand to do something. Starting with our Vynsett banish. So Funeral Moon hits the banish zone here, generating our first rune chant. We're going to pitch to generate our second rune chant by the looks of things. And then we're going to beseech the Demagon, giving our next attack action, giving an attack action in our banish zone +3, paying a life. Using that life paid because we've lost life for Funeral Moon, and then we can Deathly Wail here. So this is going to be 3 and 9, and we're going to get at least 1 rune chant out of this, if not a second one as well. At the same time here, Ira is very much in the driver's seat. And it may all come down to the last turn where Raphael decided to attack with the flail instead of just making the rune chant passing. So Jamie taking the arcane, giving it the old blocks, taking 3, and we're going to generate our 2 rune chants off of that. So just a drop, Jamie doing the Irish special, 2 cards plus card in arsenal. Kodachi, something. Kodachi, whatever it is. But we have Kodachi for 1, leading with a different Kodachi this time. Vynsett giving up the last block on Dyadic Carapace for that. And there we have Bittering Thorns coming in here for 5. Starting to try and consider getting the best value possible out of Face Purgatory as we're getting into that later stage of the game. And yeah, looks like we're getting just a block of 5 here. Not trying to trigger Face Purgatory, not trying to sit. And we have another sensor. It's pretty good. Not gonna lie, it's pretty good. Feel like we're kind of priced into the block here. Yeah, and there we have it. A full block on 5. Going to our turn, no armor left. Ira, 10 points of life ahead, kind of in an awkward spot. Banish a Widespread Destruction, which we can then play for 3 and 6, which would blow up an arsenal if Jamie had one. So we're just sending a 9 ball here. Not too bad. Jamie choosing to prevent the 3 rune chance, pitching a fine center. Good old Crucible of War. And 6 physical coming in now. Yeah, so block with a Winds of Eternity, taking 3, going to 18. Banish that arsenal if you had one. And we're just going to go to clean up. Raphael is going to draw 4. We're going to see what happens from here. Again, Kadachi. So quick to block these first Kadachis, Raphael. I'm very, very surprised. You could at the very least block the second one, get the 2 points out of it. But we're going to pop the Pensing Paws, send in a Tiger. Tiger's coming in for 1 here. Taking 1. Kadachi for 1. Taking 1. And then a Scar for Scar, just for 4. Obviously threatening the mask this time. Generally speaking, when you're blocking around Mask of Momentum, blocking the second hit always tends to work out a little bit better, a little bit more in your favor, because it just means the chain has to go slightly longer before they can threaten that Mask of Momentum. A block on that Tiger, for example, results in nothing happening. And we're over to Raphael, who's going to have to banish a card from hand here. We're banishing Oblivion. So it was there. It was there all along. It just was not in the hand when we had our 6 rune chance. And again, I don't think this is usually the play here. Flail of Agony is less of a weapon and more of a tool to threaten damage to yourself in order to proc Vynsett's rune-gated cards. But I am not a Vynsett main, not a consistent Vynsett player. I will defer to Raphael. I can imagine hoping to threaten Ira a little bit, maybe the game plan here. The problem with taking cards off Ira is that nearly every card is just replaceable. Everything is just a blue 3-block combo card or some kind of disruptive 1 or 2 power on hit. Again, blocking the first Kadachi. Second Kadachi comes in for 2 points of value here. I don't know if Havel has played a lot of Blitz when Ira was legal. There's some things that were just drilled into you from playing that Blitz game, and I was always block the second Dachi, always do it, blah blah blah. Just brain is full of them. And then we've got a block on the Kadachi, and then a block on this Maulingchi. So a full block here. No cards for Vynsett. So no trigger really has to be resolved. And we're just going to swing with the Flail of Agony. Flail covered by a blue flick flack. Draw 4 for Rafael. And now let's see how this turn shakes out. Could ask you for 1. Shock. Could ask you for 2. Right, we're blocking the 2 with our tear through the portal. And then we have Torrent of Tempo. 5, going on hit, go again. So blocking the 5 here. Does Jamie have the cheeky razor reflex, which I know he doesn't play a lot of, but he does enough to put the fear of God into people? And we're going to banish a Malefic incantation to Vynset's trigger, get a rune chant. And we're not going to swing the Flail of Agony this time. We kind of want all 6 of our points of life left. We're going to go Kodachi for 1, pitching a Winds of Eternity. This feels like deja vu, but Jamie and anyone else who knows Ira will know that she just does this. Oh, it looks like we have maybe had a Haunting Rendition, but then we have a Spinning Wheel Kick coming in for 5 following this Kodachi. So we have 1 prevention floating from this Haunting Rendition. We're going to block and take a point of damage here. Going to 5. Kodachi for 1. And then Nasty Surprise. So 0 for 2. When a effect would put it to the graveyard from anywhere, it doesn't really matter in this situation. Vynsett does run pummels, probably not running pummels here. And it's starting to look like the writing is on the wall for Raphael, as Jamie is just accruing value turn to turn. But we're still going to rage against it, and we're going to send 3 Arcane and 6 Physical with this Phantom Wraith, threatening a total of 9 damage. Not terrible. A reasonable number, for sure. Jamie taking the Arcane, because there is no on hit here from this Phantom Wraith, and we're using up our Mask of Momentum because, generally speaking, when our opponent's at 4, if we hit them 3 times in a combat chain, it's because they're dead. And then following that up with a Fate Foreseen, keeping the Tunic counter. We're at 3 energy counters on Tunic, so Jamie has plenty of options on how to best deal lethal damage. We're going to start with a Kodachi for 1, which is going to get blocked by an Envelope in Darkness. Then we're going to E-Strike, I assume, choosing Go again, to block 6. Can we block 6 even? Ira's text baby, Jamie just sort of gesturing to the hero, being like, hey, my hero has text too. And then we're going to send out 6. We have 2 floating here. I know for a fact we have going to 3. And then we're going to finish up with the last sensor, dealing the 3 points of damage, getting across the line, and Jamie McCabe moving to 2-0. Jamie once won a skirmish with Ira and is now back in the winners brackets, showing that whether it's CC, whether it's Blitz, he has what it takes to win games on Ira. Congratulations, Jamie. Hard break, Raphael. But, rally in the next round. Vynsett, a lot of power there. There was a couple of awkward turns where you never got to use your Rebel and Runebloods. Can be such a deciding factor in the games. Thank you again for joining us here on The League That Means Absolutely Nothing. I hope you've been having a good time. If you like the video, make sure you like the video. Comment down below. Tell me, tell Jamie, tell Raphael what a great job they're doing playing the game, editing the games, and whether I'm casting the games, if I'm doing a decent job or not. And finally, make sure you subscribe to Go Again Gaming so that you can get access to all of these videos straight to your YouTube inbox as soon as they go live. Get your notifications ready to watch some of the best and most fun CC content that you will get, all for the love of the game of Flesh and Blood. And pretty much for nothing else. It means absolutely nothing after all. And that's it for me. If you're looking to find me, you can find me on Findles, spirit.bsky.social, or Findles_spirit on Twitter. And I will see you in the next one.